Okay, this is Jim from PyDog Software. I'm going to see if I can't add a preference window to this project now. We've got a full undo open and save functionality has been added. So basically, to add a preference window, what we're going to do is copy the BigUndo preference window. It's included with the demo project. And we're going to paste that in here. We can just open that up, and you'll see it's got some instructions here on how to use it. We're going to delete that, and we're going to add, let's see. We'll add a add a text field. And we'll call this our oops. Default to address, and let's have a pop-up menu for our font. So, and when this opens, we're just going to oops. Font. Bye. Alright, so fairly simple preferences. We don't have a whole lot to mess with here. We can resize this up. Doesn't really matter too much. And in order to use the preferences, what we want to do is add a property to our app. We're going to do preference window, and then we're going to want to new TheBigUndo preference window. So now you'll see, we go ahead and run the app. Excuse me. And we now have a preferences menu item, and we have our fonts. Default is 2. Alright, so now we can quit our application, and next time we run it, you'll see, oh, you know what? There may be a problem here. But yes, so it keeps our preferences. Thing is, one thing we do need to do, because I'm running on OS 10 here, is we need to put an app identifier here. So that we just have a name for the OS to use for saving the preferences and loading them back in. Otherwise it loads it into a null plist in the preference folder, which isn't exactly what we want. So the next thing we're going to want to do here is uncomment this here. Then we can run it, and that will get us a default value we can use. So go to our preferences, and since I changed the identifier, it's cleared the values because it's not using that same plist to save it. So u@domain.com, and our default font's going to be typewriter. So now we'll get a break here. Go ahead and stop one time, and you'll see right here we've got the XML of our window state. So go ahead and copy that. Resume. Quit our little application. We can recomment this out because we're not going to need it anymore. And then our default. We're just going to paste that in. So now we have a default value for our preference window. So now when we run it, you'll see that in our preference window we have our default, or our saved preferences here, which is now our default values. So if we were to change this all around, and we can just hit our default values and pops right back to that state that we set as our default. Now another thing we'll want to do here is when this opens, we're going to want to set our app.prefswin dot simple dictionary. Oops. Let me check what that value, what that name was on that. Oh, I just have it set to pop-up menu on. I forgot to give it a name. That's okay though. We'll use that, as this is only an example. And then was this text field 1? And this one was called, I actually remembered, I'll copy that. Actually remembered to set that one. Alright, so assuming I've got everything correct here, we do a new window. You'll see that our default address is entered there, and our font should be, there it is, default American typewriter font, as we see in our preferences. Boom, boom. So fairly simple, adding a preferences window to your application and accessing the values that are saved. And there's a lot of other little things you can do with that. As far as in your preference window, if you take a look through some of the different methods here, you can see that we create our preferences menu here in the constructor, add it to the menu bar, load our values, delete undos for this window after we've loaded the values, and then set our default button. Load our defaults here, Load saved values here. And when we save our values, we got our simple dictionary, which is saved in the window properties. So, fairly simple. You can set preferences doc. You can also access in the TheBigUndo a way to set preferences directly so that you can add other values and keys as you like. I think that pretty much wraps it up for right now. I'll hope you've enjoyed the video, and hope you try out TheBigUndo, and I hope you like it. Thank you.